Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Written with a Y. I feel like every episode, every time I sit down to record, I am a little bit more happy, a little bit more excited of what I'm doing, because yeah, it's like a dream come true being able to talk to people about books. But today, specifically, I am excited for two different things. First, I am excited because it was Cyber Monday and Black Friday last week, and I was able to get this amazing microphone. Yay! It was not super cheap, but cheaper than usual, and it was great to be able to buy it. I also got a lamp, and I have this table. I did not buy this table in Black Friday. I stole it from my dining room. But I'm excited that I have a table today. The second reason why I'm excited today is because of the theme that I'm going to be talking about. This week, I just got so many books that I'm going to be reading this next season. So I'm so excited to share about those books that I have been intending to buy. There are some that I still have not bought, but I have them in my list, and it's so cool to talk about the books that I am going to be reading, because there are two kinds of happiness, I would say, with books. The first one is obviously reading the book and enjoying it so much that you're so excited about what you are reading. The second one is that excitement of not yet, like almost just the expectation of reading a great story, and it's just waiting for you in your bookshelf, or comes to you in that Amazon package and you're able to open it, or you go to the store and you buy it and you pay more than you should have been paying on books, but you have it now and it's just like, I'm gonna be able to read it, and I don't know, it's a world of possibilities. And then if it ends up being a terrible book, then it's very sad, big disappointments, which I have had a lot of them lately, but I am sure that my next readings are going to be different and are going to be great. So I'm extremely excited. I know I say that word a lot. Why do I say a lot? Extremely excited. That's my favorite phrase. Maybe because I'm just an excited person. By the way, I have today also my beautiful cup that I am not promoting because I don't even know where I got it. Someone got it for me, so I don't know what brand this is, but I love Avatar. It's my favorite show, maybe competing with Arcane, but Avatar, I think, definitely still wins. Without more delay of me talking about things that you don't care maybe about, I will start telling you what are my to be read of this next season. So that includes my last 2 weeks of the year. I cannot read on these specific days because I am on finals and I cannot do anything else but write my papers and do this video. I just found time for you guys to do this video, so I hope you appreciate me doing this video instead of writing my papers and studying for my finals. But definitely I cannot sit down to read a whole book during this week. So these are my to be read in this month and a half-ish, maybe extending to February. The way that I'm gonna tell you the books that I have to read is kind of like dividing them on genres. So, genre. I don't know how to speak English, so I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of channels or podcasts that try to just read one type of book, so they are very inclined to science fiction or fantasy or romantasy or historical fiction or non-fiction. For myself, I just like the majority of types of books, so I want to give a little bit of everything. I don't want to stay only on one type of book. I used to be like that. I used to just like historical fiction, and I really didn't like fantasy, but my desire for reading fantasy has grown this year, and that's for another video, what made me like fantasy that much. But I think that I still don't want to just focus on fantasy. I want to go and explore other types of books. I have to say that word too many times in this video, I didn't realize. I should have practiced. Let's start then with historical fiction. The first book of historical fiction that I want to read is The Nightingale. I have seen this book before. I had it on my Amazon cart for the longest time, but I never made myself buy it. Finally, I saw it on the house of a friend, so I was able to grab it and to start reading the first lines, and my friend loves this book and she encouraged me to read it. I don't know a whole lot about this book. I just know that it's kind of during the occupation, the German occupation of France, and there are two sisters. There's supposedly not a lot of romance, though there's a side romance for the book, and I do like romance in my books. I don't know, I'm just a girl. I'm not gonna deny it. Is what it is. But I hate when romance is badly done. So sometimes I prefer for romance not to be the main thing, because it just, people are just terrible in how they do it. So I prefer to just get very soft romance if it's going to be better than the intense, terrible, cliche, cringy romance that we have lately. The second book that I want to read is The Librarian of Auschwitz. I promise I don't have issues saying names that often. It's just today. This is the day for me. Auschwitz. Okay, the librarian of this German prison is happening in real life, and I know absolutely nothing about it. I just know that there's a librarian that is trying to help Jews not to lose hope through books, and that's something that I would love to read. I got my computer out because these next historical fiction books I don't have with me. I still have to buy more money, always money. It's worth it. For books, money is always worth it. The next one that I want to read is called The Things We Cannot Say. I loved the synopsis of this book. I didn't want to read a lot because I hate knowing too much, but it is about the Nazi occupation again, because that's one of my favorite periods of time. Not because I like bad stuff, but because I think there was just so much of humans' nature that came out, who people actually were under so much suffering and cruelty. It's a horrible time to live in, but at the same time, it's a great time to observe humans and how they will react to all this super strong influences. Maybe that's why we like so much the dystopian novels, and we like these fantasy novels where we have a super cruel empire that is ruling and oppressing people, and it's because the best and the worst of humans comes out. So it's really interesting to see that happening in a real time. Even though it's a fiction, it is real that was happening to a group of people. The Things We Cannot Say is about this girl called Alina, and she's gonna marry her best friend Tomas, and her best friend disappears, and it seems to be because of the Nazi occupation. So she's really depressed and she's trying to find him. I don't know, there's probably more to it. You can leave it on the comments if you have read it, if you liked it, if you would recommend it. The next one that I want to read is called The Women, and it's also historical fiction, also written by Christine Hanna. It just won the best historical fiction in Goodreads. I don't know how much I believe in Goodreads, because horrible novels that I have read that I'm just like, this is just the worst art piece I have ever experienced in writing, have like almost 5 stars on Goodreads of 1 million reviews, and people love it. And maybe I'm just crazy, but I don't think I am. I think they are really bad. So Goodreads, you have to be careful when you want to rely completely on Goodreads. However, I think this novel is actually gonna be good. This book is about a woman that decides to go to the war in Vietnam as a nurse, and that's it. That's everything I know, and that's how I like my novels. Suspicious, mysterious, what is gonna happen? I don't know. I'm just gonna open this book and I know that it's going to be something. That's it. That's all you need to know. It sounds great. I love it. The next one is called Where the Crawdads Sing, and probably you have heard of it already. There's a TV show on Netflix. I have heard that it's terrible and that does not reflect the book, and I am glad it doesn't, because I tried to watch it and it was so boring. It was so like, what is happening, that I just put it off. That made me not buy this book that I had on my list for a while. But as I heard that the TV show has nothing to actually do with the book, then I was inspired to buy it again. It's really interesting, and it's about this girl that lives in isolation, and she's been accused of a murder that she didn't commit, or we don't know if she committed or not. That's my type of weird novels. I just like it. I just like the weird stuff. I just like when people are in isolation or in war, and I like it. So I'm excited to read that one. That was my last one on historical fiction that I want to read. Now let's pass to romantasy. Romantasy. Again, this could be a whole episode about romantasy, about my relationship with romantasy. But I will give you a little bit of a preview on what I think about romantasy. I have been very disappointed by romantasy, really. I came to romantasy when it was already a big deal. When I was reading when I was younger, and I would read that didn't exist. You had fantasy and probably romance in fantasy, but that was not a thing like super weighty. So I loved romance, and I was okay with fantasy. So when I heard that there was this type of book that was a mix of romance and fantasy, I was so happy. And I have been extremely disappointed so far. But I'm not going to talk about that more. I still want to find a good romantasy book. I am on the quest of finding it, and I want to succeed. So I have written down some other romantasy books that I'm going to try. Keep trying. Maybe I will find one that satisfies me. If you know of one that you think, Melanie, you really would love this. This is like objectively good, not only guilty pleasure, objectively good. You can leave it on the comments. And I hope I'm not disappointed by your opinion. I hope, because I have been disappointed by so many opinions. My first option is or was Fourth Wing. Now, I know Fourth Wing will disappoint me. I know it because I have heard reviews of people that I really respect and that I like their opinions, and they hated it. And the reasons why they hated it are reasons why I will probably hate it. So I know Fourth Wing is not gonna be the one that is gonna fix romantasy for me. The reason why I put it on my list is because so many people are talking about it that I cannot come here and destroy this genre. I don't know how to say it. This type of books without first being exposed to them. So I have not enough experience on romantasy books to say that romantasy books are bad. So I really, as I said, I am on a quest of finding a good book, yes, but I'm also trying to make an informed opinion of it. So if I don't read it, then I won't be able to give an informed opinion. The only reason why I'm not gonna read it, I'm not gonna buy it, and I didn't buy it now that I bought a good amount of the books that I want to read, is because I found out that it's very spicy. And I just hate spice in books. I just despise spice. That's cool. Despise spice. I despise it. I just don't like it. I feel like it ruins the book. I don't like knowing what you do with your parts, with your companions. I don't care. I don't spy people from the window to see what they're doing because that's gross for me. I don't like it. If it's true that it's as spicy as they say, if it's unskippable, then I might not be able to read the book. I might borrow it, but I won't pay money for it, and I won't have it on my shelf. So I might borrow it just to read the parts that are not spicy, but I don't know, it's a maybe. The next one that I just got is Caraval. I got it from a bookstore. I went to the bookstore, I was there for like an hour and a half, and as always, I couldn't make up my mind, and I end up leaving with this, and I don't think it was the best decision, because, I don't know, I'm telling you, I'm a little bit tired of romantasies. I don't trust them, but I will try this one. I will try it, it's on my list of tries, and I already bought it. I pay money for it, so it will have to be tried. If I don't like it, I won't continue with the next one on the series, because I just don't want to spend more time on money in something I don't like, but I will try it. I promise. I don't know what it's about. I think it's a circus or something, and two people that fall in love in it. I don't know. Let's see. This is still on my reading list, not because I want to read it, but again, because I need to be able to tell people that it's a bad book. I have read already 150 pages, and I have never, I have read all this, guys. I'm almost half on the book. I have never been more bored, more uncomfortable, more lost with a book. This is not a review of this book. I will give a review when I finish it. I was not gonna finish it. But I need to tell people how bad this is, and if I don't finish it, then people are not gonna believe me how bad it is. So I need to finish it so I can tell you how bad it is. So this is in my to be read list. I just have not found the strength to pick it up again. But I will, and I will finish it. And then I will tell you what I think about it, which are not good things. And I'm sure that the next half is not going to change my mind on it. I just don't understand how people like it. But it's okay. This is not about reviewing Cruel Prince. I have it on my list, and it's going to be read from here to January. And then I'll give you a review. So my next one is this, A Torch Against the Night. I already read An Ember in the Ashes and A Reaper at the Gates. I already read these two. I already did a very long, ridiculously long review on the An Ember in the Ashes. I will probably not do a very ridiculous long review on A Reaper at the Gates. I will give a shorter review maybe alongside this one when I'm done. I probably will grade them together. So far, so bad. I promise you I'm not a negative person. I am coming with positive opinions very soon. But I just have been very disappointed. I'm maybe just very unlucky that I have picked the worst of romantasy. But I'm gonna finish the series, and then I'll let you know. My next one, I still don't have it also, and it's called Once Upon a Broken Heart by who? Stephanie Garber. I have no idea what this book is about. I have heard good things, but I don't believe in the good things I hear, as you know already, because I have heard good things about very bad books. So I don't believe in those good things, but I still want to read it just because it is a broken heart, and last year I had a very broken heart, and I identify with people with a broken heart. I will read you the first 2 lines of the synopsis, and that's the only thing I have read, and the only reason why I actually want to read it. It says, for as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in true love and happy endings, until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. So, whatever it is, I'm down for it, because I had a broken heart too, and I believed in happy endings, and I don't anymore. Oh. I identify with that sentence, but let's see if it's good. I definitely want to read it. I left the best for the end. Yes. The part that I'm most excited about is the fantasy. I am so excited about the fantasy books that I have on store to read. And that's crazy because I used to not like fantasy. Really, I was pro against fantasy. I was the biggest advocate for no fantasy, and the reason simply was that I had not been exposed to good fantasy. But now that I am exposed to good fantasy, I am pro good fantasy. I'm excited to show you these new fantasy books that I have on store. The first one is Brandon Sanderson's Miss Bourne. It's a 3-book series of this Brandon Sanderson. You probably know him. I did not know him till now. I was introduced to him by YouTubers and friends, and I cannot believe I existed in this world without knowing that a book like this, a series, an author like Brandon Sanderson existed. I cannot believe it. So now I am currently on, I started reading it. I told you I was too busy to read, but I actually started this. I was too curious, and now I cannot stop, though I am being very prudent, and I'm reading just a little bit at the end of the day when I'm done with my finals and stuff. So, I started the first one, Miss Bourne. I just read the prologue, guys, and I cried. Not because someone dies, not because, I cried because it's such good writing. It's so good writing that my heart was moved. It was crazy. So I am obsessed with this so far. And I cannot wait to go through the whole series. So this is literally my first to be read. After I'm done with these finals that are finalizing with my life, this is going to be my obsession. I'm probably gonna read this in 3 days. The whole thing. I'm not kidding. I will read in 3 days. because it's so good. So I know I will not be able to stop once I start. Yes, it's great. I'm not even gonna say what it's about. It's just about greatness, and you should read it. Yes. My next one I also don't have, and is Tres of the Emerald Sea, and is also by Brandon Sanderson. I'm starting to get into his world. I just want to read everything that he has written. This one is a novella and is alone. There's not a trilogy. It's obviously inside that same world, kind of, but not a series of books. Like, it starts with the life of Tres, it ends with the life of Tres. There's nothing more than that. It's supposed to be a little bit more fun and a little bit more sweet. I'm excited to read that too. Now that we are with Brandon Sanderson, let's say the next one that I'm gonna read after I'm done with this and Tres. I'm going to read The Way of Kings, and I have no idea again what it is about. But I am sure that this genius man is great, and I'm sure it's gonna be great, so I'm excited for that one too. I'm also currently reading Lord of the Rings. I have already read The Fellowship of the Ring, and I have read, what's the next one? Oh, The Two Towers. I read them twice in these past 2 months because I'm in a class of Lord of the Rings on school, and I had to read it once, then I forgot, and I had to read it again, so I could write a paper I have to write for that book. But now the one that I'm missing that I have not read is The Return of the King, so I have to finish this week. I also have to finish The Silmarillion this week. It's here, I have it. It's there. I don't know if you see it, but it's back there. I have to also finish the Silmarillion. Those are for school, but they have been so good. I had never read them before. I know, I'm just a very outdated person. This is definitely my to be read because I have to read it for school, so I will read it this next week. Another one that is kind of like fantasy / mythology is the Piranesi. That book, it's going to be here. I have never read any synopsis. I have never seen any reviews. I have just heard that it is really good from a couple people I trust, and I have read that it's really bad from a person that I do not trust. So that means it's probably great. Lastly, but not less important, is the science fiction / dystopian books that I want to read. This one I also just got by Pierce Brown. Is Red Rising. I have heard amazing stuff, but what I have heard, the biggest thing I have heard about this is that it's similar to the Hunger Games, which I absolutely love and adore and I'm obsessed with. So anything that is similar to the Hunger Games, it's probably gonna be a yes for me. The only problem with books being similar to the Hunger Games is that if they are similar but in a very bad way, I get really disappointed and more angry than I would get with a normal, just average book. They really need to be good if they're gonna do anything slightly similar to the Hunger Games for me not to get obsessively angry with them for ruining an amazing story as the Hunger Game is. So, but again, I trust this. I also read like the first couple pages. I think it was really interesting and well written as far as I know. I'm not sure. I'm excited about it. That's it. Those are all the books I'm going to read. I don't know how many they were. Like, I need to count them. 15 books, which means that if I want to read it in a month and a half, I have to read like a book every 3 days. I don't know if I'll be able to do all that, but I will try. If not, I can just extend that to February. There's no rush. No one is waiting for us. No one needs me to read 200 books in one day. Thanks God that I have a break now, so I have a month of a break, and I'm probably gonna be reading so much on that during that break, and also doing these amazing reviews and videos. Probably next time we see each other, 2 videos after this video, I'm not gonna be on my studio / room because I'm gonna be traveling to the Dominican Republic. Yay! And there I'm gonna have to create another setting for a month, and that's where I'm gonna be recording the podcast / channel. That's it for today. I am happy that you stayed with me all this time. I am really excited about these books. I don't know if there's a book that you think of the ones that I just mentioned that you really didn't like and you're like, Melanie, you should not read that, or if you read it, be ready, this is gonna be terrible for you. Or if there's another book that you're like, I really think you should read this and I might add it to my next to be read. And also tell me if you are also going to read any of these books, if they sound exciting and that you want to read them. If you have Especially tell me if you have read Brandon Sanderson, because he is my new obsession. I'm just obsessed with the man and with what he has written. And if this is not even his best book, I'm not prepared to experience his best books. That's it. Thank you so much for listening my ranting today. Well, not ranting, my ramble. I'll see you next time.